Malik Willis or Will Levis, who is emerging as the front runner to be the Titans quarterback of the future? Both of these guys rotated snaps during the Tennessee Titans preseason opener against the Chicago Bears. And for Malik Willis, let's start off with him. I think that he had a really good performance. He looked way better than what he did last season. And what really impressed me the most was how calm he looked in the pocket. If you remember Malik Willis last season, in the pocket, he just didn't look comfortable. Anytime he felt a little bit of pressure, he would just immediately bail out of the pocket. He wasn't accurate. He was airmailing a lot of his throws, even the easy throws. The layups looked complicated for Malik Willis last year. But in this preseason matchup, though, he looked like an entirely different quarterback. He had better command of the huddle. He had more confidence delivering throws in the pocket. Even when there was pressure and the pocket was collapsing, he still stood tall and delivered some really nice throws. And that one interception that he threw, I don't really hold it against him. It hit the receiver's hands. He didn't come down with the ball. And anytime a quarterback delivers a ball that hits the receiver's hands, I'm never going to put that on the QB if it results in an interception due to the wide receiver not coming down with it. Now, did he put the ball a little bit too high? Yeah, but if you get your hands on the football, you got to come down with it. But outside of that, I think that Malik Willis had a fantastic performance. I mean, he looked in control every single drive that he was in the game, and he was effective moving the ball down the field, not with his legs, but with his ability to throw the football. We saw the arm strength. He had a really good play when he got outside of the pocket and made a nice throw on the run. I was really impressed with how Malik Willis performed in this matchup. Will Levis, 85 passing yards, 9 of 14. He had 1 carry for 6 rushing yards. He impressed me, and he actually exceeded my expectations. Who would have thought that Will Levis would have had a better debut than CJ Stroud? Will Levis, outside of that 1 turnover he had, I think that he was really good. And the thing with Will Levis is that inside of the pocket, he didn't look as comfortable as Malik Willis, but he wasn't entirely bad. His pocket presence still is a lot to be desired. There were a couple of sacks that he took when it was like, man, you should have just got the ball out faster. You should have thrown that away. But I actually saw a lot of good things out of Will Levis in this performance against the Chicago Bears. He was really good in the short intermediate passing game, which is something that I continue to stress, because if you want to judge how successful a young quarterback is going to be early on, a good indicator is how accurate is he delivering footballs in the short media areas of the field. And Will Levis did a really good job at that. There weren't too many passes that I saw him throw that I was like, oh man, like that was just an awful throw. Now, he did have a couple of stinkers in there, but this was a really good performance that we saw out of Will Levis. Now, he didn't look as calm and composed as what Malik Willis did, which is why I think I would have to side with Malik Willis for having the better overall performance in this game. But I don't think that Will Levis played bad. And I actually think that Will Levis wasn't too far off from Malik Willis. And if I had to give you guys, you know, who I thought was in the lead to be the backup quarterback for Tennessee this year, I would have to go with Malik Willis, because according from reports that have been coming out of training camp, Malik Willis has been outperforming Will Levis. But from based on what we saw in this game, I don't think the gap is too big. I think Malik Willis is up here and Will Levis is slightly down here. And if Will Levis can build on this performance next week and play even better, I think that he can kind of even up this competition a little bit. Let's be honest. Will Levis played pretty well. When he was coming out of the draft, a lot of people thought that this dude was going to be shit. And he didn't look like it. I actually saw a lot of great things out of Will Levis in this game, and I see the upside. He had a really nice throw when he was rolling to his right, and then threw a nice pass across his body on the right side of the field. I was really impressed with that throw. And although things didn't look as smooth offensively when Will Levis was under center compared to when Malik Willis was under center, this Titans offense was still having some success with Will Levis at the helm at QB, and he still made some really nice throws, especially some throws into tight windows. So hopefully Will Levis can build on this performance. I'm not somebody who is a hater of Will Levis. I'm just really skeptical of Will Levis. He is somebody who has all the physical tools to be one of the best quarterbacks in the game. But when it comes to understanding defenses and being able to dissect coverages, he still doesn't really have it up here yet. And that's something that can be developed. But I think that his preseason debut was definitely something that he can build on. And it is something that he should have confidence with going into the next preseason game that the Titans play. But overall, Malik Willis and Will Levis, they looked really good against the Chicago Bears defense. I think they both performed admirably against Chicago. And Chicago's defense is supposed to be really good this year. This offensive line gave up a couple of big hits, but I like how both of these quarterbacks responded to, pressure in their face. They didn't get too rattled. They didn't just completely break down. But I was really impressed with Malik Willis, man. You talk about somebody who showed massive improvement in this game compared to what he was when we last saw him starting against the Kansas City Chiefs. This is major steps in the right direction for Will Levis. And unlike Will Levis, or Malik Willis, Will Levis' spot on this roster is guaranteed. Malik Willis is fighting for his spot to remain on Tennessee's 53-man roster. He could be cut. And how he performed against Chicago was probably the best performance that I've seen out of Malik Willis in his whole entire NFL career up to this point. I don't know how you can watch Malik Willis and his past performance against the Chicago Bears and not think that this dude looked a lot better than what he did previously. This looks like an entirely different quarterback. He wasn't somebody that was running just to run. He wasn't somebody that was one read and just tuck and run. He was going through his progressions, and then when nobody was open, he was getting outside the pocket, trying to buy time for guys to get open. And when that didn't work, he was using his legs and making a lot of big plays on the ground. His lone touchdown in this game came with his legs. Now, although I still want to see a little bit more improvement out of Malik Willis as a passer, there were some throws that got away from him a bit. I think that if you're Mike Vrabel and you're on the Tennessee Titans coaching staff, you have to be really encouraged with what you saw out of Malik Willis and Will Levis in this past week's performance against the Chicago Bears.